And that's long enough. Well, good day, everybody. It's your friend Bruno. We're going to see who comes up on the live stream today. Funny thing, I saw a short this morning on YouTube about a fellow by the name of Andrew Smith, which I'm sure is a very common name in Great Britain, who had erected a flagpole or mast, whichever you want to refer to it as. I always refer to them as masts, outside of his home, and raised his nation's ensign. And then, and it was quite elaborate. He had actually gone on to Facebook and polled his group as to whether he should or not. 90% of the people who responded said yes, he should. And he did. And once he did, within a few moments, people were knocking at his door and complaining about it, which admittedly the channel is focused on politics and British humor. And I found it kind of comical and kind of interesting, because one of my interests is, how can I put it, quote, flag etiquette. And I don't know what the rules of flag etiquette are in Great Britain. I do know what the rules of flag etiquette are in the United States, however, and I try to adhere to them. Those of you who are familiar with me might know that I do fly an ensign. And by the way, welcome aboard if you're just joining us. You're more than welcome to enter anything into the chat you'd like. And Big King says, hey. Good day, Big King. Where are you? And Daisy says, hey, and wishes everybody a wonderful day. And Hello has written something. I can't quite decipher it. And I Don't Suck at Legos says hi. And Big King has said he's going to subscribe. Thank you. And hello, I'm Delta. Airline by says hi. Good morning, Delta. Mom was Eastern and so was Dad, but you know what I'm trying to say. They both worked for the airlines. Be safe up there. Yeah. So we've got 15 people aboard. At any rate, I was just going on a bit about flag etiquette, and I was wondering if anybody else had seen this video. Okay, I'll go ahead and call you Shoto if I can. Oh, you're not English. Okay, that's all right. I understand. I'm not English either. Well, I might be just a little. I'm an American, but I have to admit, I admire the English and British. And Breezy says, I'm seeing pictures of, and Shadow says, or gives a smile and has subscribed. We always appreciate that, Shadow. Hopefully I'll be able to keep things straight, because when people use names other than their handles, I get a little confused. So where is everyone this morning? I'm just curious where everyone is checking in from. It's always interesting to know where in the world everyone is. And Daria Tharia Holodin, Aviares says hi to everyone. And Breezy has typed in IDEKBRU. And Shadow's in bed. Hopefully you're resting and relaxing. And Big King is on a trip. And Shadow says 6:12, just turned daytime. And Big King, yeah, we're all we're either in the central time zone or 180 degrees opposite on the planet. And Breezy says, I think I'm like on the moon or some. And Big King says, where I'm at. So yeah, wherever we go, there we are, I suppose. We're all on planet Earth. Yep. And Shadow says, yeah, but I haven't slept. Well, gee, Shadow, I'm sorry. And Big King says, I'm in Florida, actually. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so was it a long night last night, Shadow? Was it just a lot of things on your mind, or just one of those nights you couldn't sleep? And Shadow says, no, I chose to, I don't know, YZ. Oh, okay. I chose to, I don't know. I don't know why sleep. And Breezy says, yeah, them brownies went crazy. I guess there must have been a party last night. Yeah. So I suppose you guys all had a lot of fun. It was Friday night. And Big King is going to go get breakfast. I'm going to be right back. And Shadow says, yep, just watching. Surprised I stayed up with my meds. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I got about 4 hours sleep last night, which for me is kind of typical. And Breezy is remarking, you have so much aura. I don't know if that's directed at me or if that's directed at somebody else on the chat. We've got to remember here, this chat isn't so much about me as it is about all of you. Because if it wasn't for all of you, I'm just some crazy old guy that's, talking into a smartphone. And Big King has chimed in, says FR means for real. And Hello Delta says, I'm all right at English. It told me the red dots, so I didn't spell it correct. And 4 hours is still good. My mom has a hard time always sleeping. Yes, my mom did too. I remember as she aged, she had a hard time sleeping. Yeah. And Big King says, and aura means you're cool and you got that riz. That's what you think. You're the guys that are cool and have the riz. I'm as square as the day is long. Ask anybody. Yep. So it's all about you guys. I'm just glad you're all here. So Shadow asks, how old are you exactly? I'm 63, not quite 63 and a half. So I'm getting to be an old guy. If I take off my hat, you can see that, yeah, there's a lot of gray up there, and it's not as thick as it once was many years ago. Many years ago. I started losing my hair when I was actually in my 20s even. And Big King says, I'm in the bed. Everyone else is up in the living room. And Breezy is asking if anyone ever listened to King Von. And I can't say that I have. And Shadow says, I won't judge. Well, thank you. It's very kind of you. Very kind of you. Yeah. And King Von, I guess, is a rapper and singer. I can't say that I'm familiar with him. Sorry about that. And Shadow says, "Nah, I'm in bed, pal. Yes, King Von. Big, huge W." Or no, let me get that again. Shadow says, "Nah, I'm in bed, pal. And yes, King Von, huge W." Um, and then Shadow says, "I'm trying to eat nice lately." And Big King says that, let me go back here a little bit. Hang on. Says that King Von died in a shooting and was a demon. And Breezy suggests that I should listen to King Von. And Hello Delta or Shadow says he did. And Big King says he don't play. He's still around, but he dead. His demon's still out. Yeah. Well, that's the thing about recorded music. Through music and other things, it's easy for us to reach out and still catch the spirit of someone. And yeah. It's kind of like an icon. We look at a photograph or we look at an image or a symbol, and we often remember and are touched by people that we once knew. And Shadow says that I like aggressive type of music, sometimes sad. Yeah. Well, I'm kind of blessed. I like most every kind of music myself. Whether music's aggressive or not, how can I put it? I find music, in all music, I find motivation of some sort. But to interpret things as aggressive or something, it depends on the lyrics and that sort of thing. I'm not very fond of things that are vengeful or actually aggressive in their lyrics. I try to remain mindful of things and realize that we all only have so much space in which we can get along. So, and Shadow says, or actually, Big King says, I don't listen to aggressive music. And Shadow replied, I do, depending on how I'm feeling. And Big King says, I listen to King Von, NLE, Choppa, Lil Wayne, Pop Smoke, Tupac, I think, Pop Smoke, and Lil Durk, and Lax Triple Extension. And Shadow says, WRIPX, which probably means rest in peace. Yeah. And Big King concurs. In Hello Delta, Shadow is saying that the artist died in 2018, and Big King says all the rappers that I listen to are dead. Yeah. I know a lot of the artists that I listen to have passed away too. it's sad to think about, but still, I hold on to the messages that they conveyed and how they've touched us. They touch our souls and they touch our hearts. Musicians do. And we have to remember there's more musicians being born and created every day. And we should encourage those who touch us. I try to encourage most all musicians. Simply put, music really does move me, and I'm sure it moves all of you. And Shadows typed in, I have one, but sadly he went away after fame and huge doxing, called Corpse Husband, 2 or 3 channels. And Big King has made the remark, then 1 month before New Year on Christmas, my grandma passed away. And Shadow says that the musician that she knew was hugely known for a huge, deep voice. Yeah, a huge, deep voice can make a big impact. But pretty much everyone's voice makes a big impact if we listen to them. If we're mindful of what it is they're trying to say. My voice wasn't always as deep as it is now. There's still times when it can get a little bit higher. Ouch. Just reaching over and grabbing something to drink here. In a funny sort of way, actually not a funny sort of way, I actually do wish I could hear your voices. I really, really do. Oh, how I wish I could hear your voices. And, excuse me, I've got to shift because I'm taking a set. And let me catch back up here. Shadows said, it did. He actually hit his face, and he hasn't recorded a real video since 3 years last. Music video. The last music video was 2 years ago. And if real video, Big King says hi, or yeah. And Shadow says overall asterisk. And Big King says mine is kind of deep, but not that deep. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and swipe my hand in front of the camera just to make sure the camera's adjusted properly. So yeah, there we go. There's times I kind of hide my face too. Until recently, I would frequently do my live streams outside. And in this moment, I'm having difficulty doing that. I'm having to use a walker or a rollator, whatever you want to call it, and I'm kind of limited to staying inside the house. So, yeah. And Shadow says he would sadly cut up his face before streaming from so much stress. He would be visibly shaking. He was camera, which he never is and never would be had his face shown, once with the ask and close hair and things. And Big King says, I'm getting so old, I broke my wrist when I fell, but people tell me I still have a long way to go, and I'm 34 years old. I hope so. I hope you've got a long way to go, Big King. And Shadow says, my English trashed. Holy, I'm young. Yeah. I wonder how old you are. But you don't have to tell us. I mean, I'm just curious. Yeah. And Shadow says, I just turned 12. And Autumn's come aboard and says hi. And Shadow says, it's fine, honestly. So how's Autumn today? Does everybody want to say hi to Autumn? And Autumn says they're good. And hello to everyone. And Shadow, by the way, Autumn, hello, I'm Delta. How can I put it? Their name is actually Shadow. Yeah, they're saying hello back. And Big King has to go and tend to something. I guess there's somewhat of a disturbance. Yeah. You take care, Big King. Good luck and Godspeed. We'll see you back soon, I hope. And so, Autumn, how's your? How can I put it? What are your plans for today? And Big King is signing off, and you take care too, Big King. God bless you. And Simran's come aboard. Hello, Simran. How are you? It's good to see you again. And Autumn is going to Myrtle Beach. Yeah. And Simran says that they're good. Yeah. And Shadow. By the way, Simran, when you see Hello, I'm Delta, their actual name is Shadow, which is a lot shorter than Hello, I'm Delta. So everybody, when you hear me saying Shadow, it's Hello, I'm Delta I'm referring to. This is from Archer. My cat kind of dumb. My cat licking the bed sheet, not himself. And yeah, cats can be kind of curious that way. And Autumn says, I'm so excited for 5th grade. And Simran says, hi, Shadow. Yeah. So you're going on vacation before 5th grade, huh, Autumn? And Shadow says, it's weirdly pronounced if you're English. And Autumn says, yes, sir. And Simran says that they were in Portugal yesterday. And Breezy's come back online. Welcome back, Breezy. Yeah. So Simran is back home from Portugal. And Shahoto has corrected us on the pronunciation of their name. Shahoto. And Dalton's come aboard. Hello, Dalton. And Shahoto says, pronouncing Tuo. Pronouncing Tuo. Close enough when you're more American. Shahoto. Shimron says there's a lot of gangsters, I guess. And I take it that's in Portugal. And Dalton says, love you. And I'm sure that's not just for me, that's for everybody. And Shahoto says, be safe. Be safe. And Autumn kicked in. I put water on my brother while he was sleeping. He says, help me. Yeah. And Shahoto says, poor brother. And Simran has remarked that Portugal was still very pretty. Yep, I bet it was. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. And Shahoto is imagining about Autumn's brother, sleeping peacefully, and then yeah, you wake up somebody from the middle of a dream, and it can be quite dramatic. Quite dramatic. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh gosh, it reminds me of a story from back in the day when I worked for Sperry Rail Service. Oh shucks. Oh my God, I haven't thought of that in years. And I'll have to tell you sometime. Yep. Oh my gosh, was it funny. Oh, you had to be there. Oh gosh. So, at any rate, I was watching this short this morning, and this guy had erected a mast or a flagpole, whatever you want to call it, and he was flying his national ensign. He's quite proud of his heritage and quite proud of his country. And he'd taken this poll on YouTube, and 90% of the people that responded to this poll said, "Yeah, go ahead and put up the flagpole. Go ahead and put up the Union Jack." He happens to be a Brit, so he did, and right away people started complaining about it. And the funny thing is that he thought they were complaining about the fact that he was flying his national ensign. And I watched this thing one time, and I was like, no, they're not complaining about the fact you're flying your national ensign. It's how you're flying your national ensign that's odd. Or not odd, but disruptive. Because he had employed an aluminum mast and not a jib, and had hoisted his ensign so tautly that the halyard clips and the sheaves would bang up against the aluminum mast, which makes quite a ringing noise, kind of annoying ringing noise. If you've ever heard it, it's just piercing. If you've ever been in a marina where there's a lot of sailboats that are moored and there's a bit of a breeze, you can hear the aluminum masts going ting, 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 ting. And this is what was happening in the background. So here's this guy, and he's standing there, And behind him, here's this aluminum mast, or I'm trying to do this so you can see. So here's this aluminum mast, right? And here up at the top, there's this national ensign, beautifully flying in the breeze, and he's so proud of it, and he can't even hear in the background the ting 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 ting, which rings throughout the neighborhood and is enough to drive anybody nuts. It's like back in the day, probably about 8-9 years ago, I had a neighbor that had a thing for wind chimes. He had 25 wind chimes up if he had one. And he kept them up year round, and it made everybody irritable. Everybody irritable. It was very, very, very unfortunate. And sadly, he passed away. And when the wind chimes came down, and his home was sold, and now a young couple lived there. But yeah. I like the sound of certain noises myself. In fact, I know this could sound really crazy. Just recently, I bought a klaxon. Actually, it's a Federal Signal Model 200 klaxon, which is, how can I put it? It makes the same sound that you hear in old movies, when a submarine is getting ready to dive. It's that, right? And it's loud, right? And the reason I bought the goofy thing was, for the novelty of it. But not only that, but because also I wanted to record that and make it the ringtone on my telephone, which would be funny. And I also thought about actually installing it inside my house to be my doorbell, because I don't have a doorbell. People can come and knock at my door and I'll sleep through it. I won't even hear it, but I would hear that thing. I have a bell that's outside my house. People can ring that all day long. I won't hear it inside the house. But that klaxon, that would definitely get my attention. But it's not something, I would want to have going all the time, because I have to be respectful of our neighbors, or of my neighbors particularly. I live in a neighborhood. It's probably not 20 feet from my home to the next. But even just the other day, a young fellow I know, his name is Camden. Camden came by to mow my lawn. And he came by, and it was about 7 o'clock at night on a Wednesday. And the weather was cool. But if you listened in the neighborhood, you could almost hear a pin drop, because that time of the evening around here is kind of our quiet hour. And a lot of the people in my neighborhood are, older than I am. I'm one of the relative kids, at 63. Now, there's a few that are younger, but we all enjoy our peaceful evenings here. So I had to send my friend Camden away and had him come back a few days later at about 5 o'clock, and then he came by and mowed. But yeah, we just try and be kind and respectful and mindful of our neighbors. And I try to get along. So it looks like we've dropped down to just one here. I don't know who it is. We've gotten 5 likes. Thank you very much for those. We always appreciate those likes. Makes a big difference. And we have been on for about 35 minutes. The time currently is about 11:41 Universal Time Coordinated on the 12th of July, 2025. So, if you don't mind for a few minutes, I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera around, and just so I can hold the smartphone at a different angle, because I get a cramp in my arm here, from holding it up for a while. So if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I have to wonder right now, looking at the fact that there's one person on here, I have to wonder if that's not my cousin Bonnie or somebody else I know that sometimes just watches and listens. And I always appreciate knowing the one is still there. I hope you're well. I'm much blessed to have you too. Love you. Love you too. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and flip the phone around and let you guys, let everybody just kind of stare at the fireplace or something for a few moments. I got to slide the little screen across from the back side of the phone. It protects the camera lens. And let's do this. There. There's a little electric fireplace. Kind of a fun thing just to watch and meditate on. Even in the middle of summer, isn't that funny? And it looks like the one has dropped off. So maybe, just maybe, that's my cue. It was sure great to visit with everybody this morning. Thanks for coming aboard and helping to spend a little time on the Saturday. And remember to have a little fun and smile. Be respectful and mindful of those around you. Stay safe. Give thanks for all your blessings. And pray for those who have less. Do what you can. It's really a small planet we're on. We need to learn how to get along better. So, excuse me. So until next time, as always, good luck and Godspeed. And hope to see you around, Jeff.